It's Recognize Maine right here on RecognizeRap.com. Every Friday we feature artists, producers, DJs, videographers, everyone doing their thing within the rap scene right here in Maine. It's called Recognize Maine on RecognizeRap.com. And today we got special guest Ryan Deelon, the program director and co-host of the morning show on Hot 104.7. He is here with us on Recognize Maine, as well as Travis Doyon, the go-to video guy in southern Maine. If you need a music video, if you need a photo shoot, you already know who to hit up. That's Travis Doyon. He's here with us as well. And at the end of this episode, we got some details on a project that just came out today that I'm really messing with. It's by SkizzyBoyIbe. We're going to talk about that, the new EP, details at the end of this episode. But first, Ryan Deelon is here with us again, the program director, Hot 104.7 Maine. So Ryan, we're going to talk about the radio business in just a second. But first, I want to ask you, what are some of the jobs you worked before getting into the radio business?
Stop and shop cashier for sure, camp counselor, and I'm trying to think, that was probably pretty much it. I was a office security guard, but not like the security guard that would roam, just one that sat at a desk and checked people into the office. And I don't know, I feel like I've had to have had more jobs than that. Oh, I worked at the post office.
Definitely inspiring for any of us who want to pursue a career in radio or the music industry. Growing up, Ryan, you worked a lot of jobs, and I'm sure that's what a lot of people are doing. They're just trying to find a way in this world. So if Ryan can do it, anyone can do it. And just keep grinding, stay patient, and working those jobs are going to pay off in the long run. So Ryan, you recently brought Lil Xan here to Maine for an event with 104.7, and Lil Xan, he's been in the news a lot for calling Tupac's music boring. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I know you're a huge Tupac fan.
There seems to be a divide between the older generation and the newer artists, and I try to stick up for the new artists with the older generation, saying different time, different place, they're not making music for you. There's still a place for them, they still have a fan base, but it's tough for me to stick up for the lack of respect for Tupac, being such a big Tupac fan. But to each their own. I mean, wasn't the most popular thing that I've heard him say. So I definitely, if I was in his corner, would tell him to skirt those issues. I also feel for them because they're young kids and they're going into these interviews, and these interviewers are looking for the gotcha moment, and they know I'm going to ask about Tupac, and I hope this kid, they were hoping for the response that he gave them, and then they're looking to go viral off of it, which it worked for them.
A similar thing happened with Lil Yachty a couple years back when a DJ asked him to name 5 songs by Notorious B.I.G. and Yachty couldn't do so. So, like you said, definitely a learning curve for young artists coming up. So, if anyone is listening to the morning show on Hot 104.7, Ryan and Krissy have so much fun in the mornings, making people laugh, just very entertaining. So, Ryan, what's one memorable story you got of Krissy?
I would say the first time I met Krissy, she came in for an interview, and she was wearing camouflage, spandex pants to an interview. And I'm like, all right, I know what we're getting on day number 1 here. And she was totally crazy. I feel like that helps her on air, though. Her personality is great.
Yeah, the chemistry is definitely there. Ryan and Krissy, weekday mornings on Hot 104.7. If you haven't heard their show, it's definitely a must-listen. Super entertaining. Now, the previous guy who did the afternoons on Hot 104.7, you may remember him, Miho, legend here, in my opinion, in the southern Maine radio business. And he's moved on to bigger, greater things in Miami, Florida. He's the, Power 96 down in Miami is doing his thing. So, Ryan, what do you miss the most about Miho?
Oh, man, Miho was great. He was hardworking. You threw anything at him, and he handled it. I think that's what I miss most is just his work ethic was awesome, and rightfully so. He moved on to a bigger market, which is awesome. I feel like people come to Portland and they can get some experience, and then the goal is always to move up to a bigger market. So it's great to see Miho succeed, and it looks like he's crushing it in Miami. Yeah,
salute to Miho. We miss you so much here in southern Maine. You're incredible, to say the least. But there is a new person on the Hot 104.7 staff. That's Katie Ortiz. She's going to be doing the weekends, Saturdays on 104.7 Maine. So Ryan, how's she get involved with 104.7, and why should listeners be excited to hear her on the weekends?
We had a feature called the People's Playlist where we would have different people call in and they would co-host with Haley in the afternoon, and they would get to pick a couple songs themselves and tell a little bit about themselves, and it was just something for listeners. And she actually did it one time, and I knew she had the news background and she was on TV and she sounded great, and we're always looking for people who sound great on the radio. So we just started. Last week was actually her first week, and she did pretty good for her first air shift on Saturday. So she'll be on this Saturday from 1 to 5, and excited to see how that develops. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have your hands in like multiple things. So she already has kind of a personality with being on the news and her segments with News Center Maine, and she just had like a natural love for music. So it kind of seemed like a great fit right there for us on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear her on the weekends. Again, that's Katie Ortiz, the newest member of Hot 104.7. You can hear her on air this Saturday afternoon. Now, Ryan, final question. How can local artists submit songs to 104.7 if they're looking to get played on the radio?
First of all, it's going to be clean. Don't send me a dirty song, because then I can't play it on the radio to start with. I want to keep my job, so don't get me in trouble. Start with your clean version, and don't send me a full album. Just send me the best song that you have, and all the details on how to send it to us are on hot1047maine.com, and be very respectful. That's my other thing. Sometimes people will like drop their song on SoundCloud and be mad at us for not playing it and not have even submitted the song to us. And I'm just like, how can you be mad at us for not playing a song that you haven't submitted? It makes no sense. Don't start off on a bad foot. A lot of local artists start off with a bad first impression by complaining. Do it the right way. Submit it. Trust me, if we like your song, we'll play it.
Again, submission details on hot1047maine.com. Ryan, thank you so much for stopping by today on Recognize Maine. Up next, we got Travis Doyon checking in, the go-to video man in southern Maine. Before we get to that interview, though, we got new music just dropped today. Local artist named YD Collins. He's out of Portland, Maine. This one here is called My Racks. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this one.
I never worry about a hater, I just count my racks. Bitch, don't come around me if you only want them stacks. I hold it down for the ones who always have my back. I've been in and out them traps, what you know about that? I never worry about a hater, I just count my racks. Bitch, don't come around me if you only want them stacks. I hold it down for the ones who always have my back. I've been in and out them traps, what you know about that? Think I'm worried about a hater, your mind. These niggas looking for me, but I ain't that hard to find. My bro did 2 years, that's fucked up, cause I did way more crimes. But I never did no time and never dropped a dime. I've been in and out the traps in the trenches. Took the stand for my pops and then they dropped the sentence. If I say something, best believe you know I meant it. Running for my fame because nobody who I'm friends with.
Again, YD Collins, My Racks. That's the title of that track right there. You can listen to the full track on SoundCloud. And now, Travis, welcome to Recognize Maine here today. So, I know that before you started shooting music videos, you did skate videos, skateboarding montages and stuff like that. So, how did that transition come about?
Originally, I actually started making videos way back when I was probably 10 or 11, starting off with video games and stuff like that. I'd make Call of Duty edits and stuff like that. And after a while, kind of moved out of that phase and into real life videos. In which case, at the time I was skateboarding a lot, so I just kind of I wasn't the best at skating, so I picked up the camera, and I was always a friend that was out there at the skate park filming lines, stuff like that. And over time, a lot of my friends that skated, they got busy, got jobs, stuff like that, and unfortunately. Kind of led me to find something else to make videos on, and music videos was, the move at the time.
It's actually funny you said that, because I started out as well making Call of Duty montages. I used to play so much. I mean, I still do, to be honest, but back in like middle school, high school, I played so much Call of Duty, and, I bought myself a little video capture device that got my gameplay, and I made montages and stuff like that, so definitely a similar background for me, so that's super funny. So how did you benefit, in terms of editing, making these Call of Duty videos and these skate videos as well?
All the editing programs and stuff kind of go hand in hand. So over the years, you teach yourself, tips and tricks and stuff like that. And I'm all self-taught too, so I I've just kind of, YouTube tutorials, and just kind of learn as you go. And over the years, you gain these skills that, after you do it a couple of times, you'll pick up, and it becomes natural to you. And so, even starting off with the video games and stuff like that, a lot of techniques that I've picked up and that have allowed me to move from that into, making a secondary income and full-time income off of doing music videos, commercials, and stuff like that.
So how would you say you've incorporated your own style into music videos?
Yeah, when I first started, I think I was kind of, just watching other people's videos and kind of going off that, seeing, what kind of hip-hop artists, what they're doing for their music videos, and kind of going from there and using that as inspiration. But over the time, I've kind of put my own style on the things. I like to, put myself as the Cole Bennett almost. I try and do similar type of work that Cole Bennett does. He's a huge inspiration because there's a lot of stuff, you can have this big budget and massive scenes and, huge production behind you. But, as long as you have a camera and you got good editing and stuff like that, you can put visuals out there that compete with some of the big budget work that's out there now. So, I think, over time, there's a lot of stuff that, you learn, pick up over time. And I think, putting my own style into things has really been a big part of all that.
Hey, shout out to Cole Bennett. He's a major inspiration for me as well. Just the way he's been able to brand his website and make it into this global, recognized site. So Cole Bennett, he's such a talented video producer. If you don't know his work, make sure to just YouTube his name, Cole Bennett. He does so many music videos for a lot of the younger artists coming up. So talented, like I said. So Travis, what's, one local artist that you feel like you have a real special creative relationship with?
Deelon, he's been, he's moved up his way since I met him probably about a couple years back when we first filmed our music video, Savage, which was, I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. And we just we worked from there. We've, progressed on some things, and we just we have it down to a point where when we do shoot, it's, we both have an understanding of how we want the video to look, and there's not a lot of having to, explain things. It's we both have the, the same vision, and there's not much that has to go into, producing a good video and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's definitely been one of the people that I've done a lot of work with, and I think we'll continue to do more work in the future.
So the last time I spoke to you, you mentioned how you had plans to eventually move out to California and do video work out there. Is that still something you're trying to do?
That's still something I really would love to do sometime. Right now, there's been a lot of stuff with family and stuff like that, as well as just, paying bills. So it's hard, especially Maine. It's hard enough to make a full-time income doing video in Maine. There's a few people such as Zach Greeton and I could go on a few other videographers that do an amazing job making a full-time income, but it is hard out here in Maine to do it, especially in the winter. So a lot of times I get to resort to doing other part-time work on the side, but that's definitely something I want to do. I think that's where a lot of work's going to, end up being given to, and there's a lot of connections out there, and I have more and more friends that are moving out there, such as Deelon and a few others. So that's definitely, in the next few years, that's where I'll be moving to.
Going to Cali, that's Travis Doyon again, if you're just tuning in. He's the go-to video guy in southern Maine, videographer, photographer. His name is Travis Doyon. So Travis, in the meantime, while you're still in Maine, and I see your Instagram page, there's so many photos of, the outdoors and stuff like that. So why is Maine such a cool place to take photos?
I just think there's a lot of things that other states are ready to experience. Obviously, one of those being, the 4 seasons. You can, especially Maine, you go outside one day and it's 85 degrees out, and the next, there's snow on the ground. So that allows you, I guess, just taking advantage of, the environment and everything around you. And there's so much that, parts of Maine that you don't even know exist, and being able to explore all that, post, places where, are taking photos too often, or too many people, take advantage of certain locations and stuff like that, and kind of branching out and, just exploring what the small state has to offer, and there's a lot of things that people miss out on, and I like to try and cover some of that.
So you've done a lot of music videos, as I mentioned. You've also done a lot of concert recaps as well, being on stage, capturing the moments at concerts. So of all the shows that you've done, what's the one that's been the most memorable to you?
Last summer, the Hot Show, again, a huge shout out to Hot 104.7 for giving me the opportunity to do that. They reached out to me last minute too, needing someone to cover the event, and I was more than happy to do so. And it's a special feel. I don't know, when you go on a stage and there's thousands of people, it's you know, it's probably the closest you get to being, you know, famous or, you know, being in the spotlight like that. And so even being backstage, behind the scenes, recording video, you know, seeing stuff that a lot of people normally don't see behind the scenes of, you know, just the artists hanging out back and taking photos and stuff like that. There's a whole atmosphere and a vibe that a lot of people don't really get to experience, and being a part of that's really special.
Well, Travis, thank you so much for stopping by Recognize Maine today. And now we got that details on a new project that just dropped today by SkizzyBoyIbe. The project is called Running Routes. It's totally fire. It's got some local artists on there. Really no skippable tracks in my opinion. And this one that I'm about to play, it's my favorite track off that mixtape. It's called Nothing to Say. Let's get straight into it.
Bando making the plays, bitch, I love getting paid. Niggas was serving our ops, I was dug in the raids. I was chasing that check, trying to keep food on the plate. Me and my niggas up next, Skizzy Gang is the name. I don't got nothing to say, no, I don't got nothing to say. We was just making them plays, I was just dodging the case. In and out the bando, yeah, I had that pole on my waist. I don't got nothing to say, no, I don't got nothing to say. I don't got nothing to say, no, I don't got nothing to say. We was just making them plays, I was just dodging the case. In and out the bando, yeah, I had that pole on my waist. No, I don't got nothing to say, no, I don't got nothing to say. Got me saying, man, fuck you, can't believe I used to love and trust you. Now I'm only really trying to bust you. When you shoot, just know I'ma stuff you. I fed you when we had no food, let you hold bread, I was broke too. Let you wear clothes, that's what dogs do. Front you had foes like dog food. Now you only trying to act up, little nigga, better put your Mac up. Better yet, nigga, call for backup. Ain't nobody coming run the racks up.
SkizzyBoyIbe, Nothing to Say, off the new project Running Routes, out everywhere right now. A lot of new music coming out locally these past couple weeks. You know, Zaya Universe just dropped a new mixtape last week. Again, SkizzyBoyIbe with the new project today. And coming real soon, Ammo is dropping a mixtape as well. So no shortage of new music here in Maine. And that's all for this episode of Recognize Maine right here on RecognizeRap.com. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. And until next week, I'm out of here.